every town in the state has a master plan and zoning.
It's going to be part of that then?
That's the point, is that the local governments decide what the zoning and planning is. That's the point. So,
These centers are all going to be then incorporated in each town's master plan?
no.
And it will be used by
The centers are designated in the past through a process identified by local government. So local governments ask us to identify the centers.
Right, so then how is that conveyed to everyone?
They are already built into local planning.
So the state plan map now has all the designated planning areas that you use for various different.
And we're getting out of that business.
You're taking public input, and what I understand in Morris County, our freeholder board does not need to vote on this. Do any local municipalities, the elected officials get to vote on this?
No, it's the state initiative.
So if they don't like it, if the local governments don't like it, if the county governments don't like it, what is the approval process? And who decides whether this plan flies as written or not?
Well, the state planning would be the body that would physically.
Not the people in our elected officials then.
No, because it's a state.
The state decides is essentially what it is.
But it's not top down.
Top down.
Yes, sir.
I've read the plan in its entirety, and it's obviously fraught with a lot of confusion and ambiguity. For example, the plan states that it serves as not a regional or local mandate. Yet there are parts in the plan where you say you have areas of identification throughout the state that will qualify for development and redevelopment. However, there's no mention of any of the well-known areas in our state that suffer from strangulation due to river basin flooding, for example, that we've seen in the recent years. It would seem to me that this plan should have some start with some action to relieve those communities along several river basins in our state to avoid problems of recurring floods and just adding to the cost of flood recovery after flood recovery, both at a state, federal, and local level.
And that's going to be addressed in the action plans for each individual agency. In that case, it would be PPP, so they would be.
There's nothing in the plan that provides any kind of guidance with any communities regarding it.
Well, it wouldn't get into those specifics, because you get into the specifics
I'm not
there.
looking for specifics. I'm looking for some generalized language that says this is an area of extreme importance to our state because it's crippling us financially. There's nothing in the plan that says that.
You mean call out specific areas?
Well, everybody in the state knows where these areas are. Every time if we have a massive flood situation, the same riverbanks overflood, and we're at a point now where communities are losing ratables and having to make up for increasing those ratables through increased taxes. Our communities are being financially burdened. And what's the danger with this plan, and with Agenda 21 sustainability mandates, is that there is going to be federal and state grants given to local communities, and those communities are going to be hungry for money. And the devil is in the details. When they reach out to get those funds, they're going to be forced to comply with the mandates that we don't even know what's being written and mandated. So this is really dangerous territory you guys are treading.
We're talking about the government producing jobs, right? Well, I use yourself, government responsible for producing jobs. You said that. Right. Well, when you put restrictions, right, on some 400-page boilerplate or what it turns into 400 pages, what company is going to move into this company, this state, and open up factories when they don't know what they can do with their land?
What we're trying to do with this plan is get those restrictions lifted or minimized. In the past, that's what we had, about 350+ plan that was pretty much a no-growth plan. This is the opposite. This is something where you can grow, where it's worthwhile to grow, and where companies want to grow.
But the local people in the local counties can make decisions with companies, right? But you want to put everything in Trenton and centrally plan everything. And what companies are gonna come here to create jobs? Government doesn't create jobs, they take taxpayer money and you talked about, state-owned property. The state doesn't own it. The people own it, right? So I'm just saying is that, you know, when you put restrictions and you start putting these plans that are nebulous, nobody knows what it means and what it's gonna entail and what might change in the future, no company in the right mind is gonna come here and open up a plant.
What we're trying to do is give companies that clarity. In fact, one of the Garden State values is predictability, and that's something that's been lacking in the past. Where companies will come in, developers will come in, do all this money into all sorts of studies, get up to a planning board, or the they come in with regulation on top of another regulation, and it would cost a lot of money to be told, no. We want to try and stop that. And this report reflects what we're told by the business community.
So you're
What they would like to see.
saying the state, the DEP is part of the state.
Right.
So the state tells them they can't do it after they invested this money. So your answer to it is to have another state plan to tell the DEP what to do. Why don't you just back out and let the local communities do what they want and negotiate with companies, and if Middlesex County wants to bring another pharmaceutical company in, what does somebody in Trenton sitting behind a desk with a 400-page report have to do with it?
Well, there's a state road there, or state highways, or state utilities. The state is definitely.
So because they drive on the state highway to get to work, you're gonna tell them what they can do.
Not that we can tell them, but we are a partner in that transaction.
It says in your plan, funded by the Environmental Protection Agency and the National Endowment of the Arts, and it was the institute to provide their expertise program. Okay. Well, now the EPA is a major contributor to the decline of the U.S. economy through regulations that cripple job growth. And my understanding is that the EPA is implementing the same failed policies in New Jersey that they have done nationwide, and that corresponds to what you're saying.
What was said?
Does the state strategic plan and the state planning commission address the municipal land use law? First question.
To answer your question, the only reference to the municipal land use law is that it recommends that we research opportunities to make preservation with willing sellers more flexible through clustering provisions of the municipal land use law. And also in a way that allows them to more effectively work with county governments when they want to.
If we don't address the municipal land use law, and we keep talking about planning, we don't allow planning boards and zoning boards to address economic development in hearings, unless we add a clause that says that the land use law should be amended to allow the boards and the applicants to address the benefits or detriments to economic development to a project. I don't understand how we're going to get down to home rule and fix them.
One of the things this plan does two things as far as regulations. There's two sorts of problems with restrictions or regulations. There's a regulatory fix, which is just more or less a rule that an agency has. That's somewhat easier to change. There's the legislative problem, which is a little bit more of a heavy lift, because it has to go through the legislature, and then you get into sort of that sort of jockeying around. So right now we're focusing on the regulatory, aligning all the state agencies, aligning their regulations so one isn't fighting or negating the other. So that will help smooth things through the local zoning and planning. The legislative fix is a little bit more long-term because it's a longer-term fix. It's going to take longer to fix those laws, but there are some things that are going to take that legislative fix. And this plan, as Dan pointed out, it's not going to be a silver bullet to everything right away. There's going to be some things that have to be in place. That's going to take time. And that's one of the things. It would be changing or amending laws, adding new laws or amending old existing laws, I should say. Let's take two more questions. Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's stated that it's
it's up to the local municipalities to develop the areas. You're not taking anything away from the local municipalities, is that correct?
Under this plan.
I was at a meeting at Sixth County Coalition up in Old Way. Ken, you spoke there to the freeholders, all right? Question from the freeholder in Sussex. The freeholder wants to come into Sussex County and build a plant. Is the state going to say, no, I can't do it? Your response, and I quote, well, we'll work with you on that. However, if the ROI is not in the best interest of the state, we will disallow it. So how can you stand there and say the state is not going to control the local municipality and their zoning and when they're allowed to come in when you made statements like that a couple months ago?
I'll answer you very clearly. It's not my job to, I don't have the authority to approve or disapprove anything for state government.
Then you shouldn't have made a statement, then we will determine what the ROI, return on investment is, and we will disallow it if it's not in the state's best interest. If that's not your position to make that determination, you should have made that statement.
I don't remember what I said at that meeting.
I'll tell you exactly what it is.
But the answer is the state of New Jersey has obligations trickle down from federal authority that at times don't have flexibility in everything we make. I mean, there are federal laws out there that New Jersey does not have the ability to bend from. So it would be irresponsible of me to say, yes, sir, I'm going to approve me, who am I, a 3M plant in a town where I have no idea what the restraints are. So, you know, for what it's worth, I think it would be irresponsible for me to answer in any different way. Because I don't know anything about that project. I don't know anything about that land. I don't know anything about those towns. So that's the place where you belong, making those decisions. This one goes.
I know you've done a larger job and you want to see this project through, but I think many of us in this room would like to see this whole process of state planning come to a stop. Just take a breather. Can you tell me? How can that be accomplished?
Well, I mean, it's a process that we started.
Right. To stop a lot of the things that we used to do, we have to adopt a new plan. That, we don't, why? It's a state law. We feel strongly that we should just move the ball.
Why did you guys?
Okay, let's take one more because we want to come in. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
After your study review and 45 days after all of the meetings that have been conducted around the state, there's going to be a meeting between the municipal boards and the county boards about your conclusions. When do you open that up for public review, or do you plan on opening that up for public review?
Yes. We plan on releasing a red line version proposed to the State Planning Commission. That'll be available.
Is that something you're going to do online?
Yes.
Are there going to be meetings?
All of these documents are available online. They have been since October. Notice went out in October to all the municipalities, and the version that we proposed to the State Planning Commission will be online, and we will have an opportunity to you can submit comments or testimony to the State Planning Commission before they take action.
And so then the recourse for a member of Morris County would be actually to go to your Board of Freeholder meetings and ask them what their recommendations were on behalf of the taxpayers of this county, I would assume.
That's right. I mean, a lot of this is from cross-acceptance. What we heard from local government that we were doing wrong and ineffective, that stood in the way of having growth that was kind of complementary to the assets and the desires of the region. So I would encourage them to go back to the county and they could help us understand what we can do better in this final draft. That's all part of the process. The counties have been a partner throughout this, and they will continue to be.
When was this law passed?
1985.
Whose administration was that?
Okay, since we're at about 7:10, let's take a 5-minute break.